Hi, I'm William Waterway. Welcome to the William Waterway interview. And today our guest is Susan Sigel Goldsmith, and we're going to learn something about Bruce and JawsFest. Most exciting time. We've never had a Jaws event like this since the making of. So please welcome Susan. Pleased to have you with us today.
Thank you, William. It's a pleasure to be here. We are really excited about what's going on.
Well, and I've been involved with Jaws for a long time, published a lot of stories about Jaws in Martha's Vineyard magazine. But my question to you is, where did you get the epiphany, where did you get the idea to create a JawsFest for this anniversary of 2012?
Well, the first JawsFest here on Martha's Vineyard was in 2005, and that was the 30th anniversary of the making of Jaws. And that idea actually came from a fan, an international fan, to the Chamber of Commerce at a tourism convention. So the idea for JawsFest was not organic to Amity Island. It came from a Jaws fan off island. And in 2005, we did the event with the Chamber of Commerce. I co-directed that event. And then it was just such an amazing experience. We had fans literally from all over the world, many more people than we had ever anticipated. It was then a June event. And I had always thought that we should do it at least one more time, because of course you do something and you're like, oh, we could just do this a little differently or that a little differently. And you know, we had the relationship with Universal Studios. So I thought we'd do it 5 years after, which sort of seemed to make sense, which would have been 2010. And in conversations with Universal, they said, no, you can't do it in 2010. We need you to hold for 2 more years.
Why?
Well, they didn't tell me at first.
Oh, okay.
But the why is because this year is Universal Studios' centennial celebration. So this is Universal's 100th birthday. And it's a really big deal. And this makes this JawsFest bigger than anything that we've ever done. Plus, as you know, we have a really significant shark conservation component to this event, which is totally different from the last event. So as part of Universal's centennial celebration, they've gone through their library of close to 5,000 films that have been made through the studio in the last 100 years. And they have selected 12 films to be remastered and re-released as part of the centennial, sort of one for each month of the year. And Jaws is being remastered, re-released on Blu-ray, and there are tons of really exciting things happening with that. That re-release in the US is on August 14th, just after our event, so we're in August to coincide with that. And we've also brought in Discovery Channel, who is celebrating the 25th anniversary of Shark Week. And there are a lot of projects going on associated with that, which tie back to Jaws and Amity Island, and so we're really excited to have Discovery Channel involved as well. So it's big, it's really big.
In 2005, Peter Benchley was still with us.
Yes.
And what impressed me was his promotion of his intention and conservation effort to preserving the sharks. Very strong supporter, and I understand. I met Peter, I did video with him in 2005. His son I know from Nantucket, but his family's still involved, and they're part of JawsFest this year, aren't they?
Yes, Wendy and the kids are coming.
Yeah.
Peter wrote the book, and then the impact of the book and the movie on shark populations was pretty huge in a negative way.
Is there a correlation that we...
He thought so. In conversations that I've had with him and with Wendy, you know, at some level he felt, as he learned more, because after he did the book, he started diving with sharks and doing different things, and he spent the rest of his life really working conservation. And Wendy Benchley has just become chairperson of the board for Shark Savers, who we're working with. Wendy is extremely involved in shark conservation. It's one of the main things that she does in her life.
Very good.
And as part of our tribute, this JawsFest is a tribute to the late greats, Peter Benchley, who was here, Roy Scheider, who also passed since the last event, Robert Shaw, who was already gone, sadly, before the last event, and then some of the others that have passed in the last, we've lost 5 majors in the last 7 years. It's a 37-year-old movie now. And also, so part of our tribute to Peter was the conservation component, and part of our tribute to Bruce, the great white shark who's in the movie, was we also want to tribute Bruce, because of course he dies in the movie. At least the mechanical Bruce dies.
Yes.
And we're very much in favor of keeping sharks in our oceans and keeping our oceans in balance. They're an important component of ocean balance.
You've been planning this for how long now, Susan?
We started in July last year.
Okay. So I know the schedule of events, which I've seen, is tremendous.
Yeah.
It's one hell of a production. As a matter of fact, it's like doing Martha's Vineyard as a film set, and you've created a movie taking place within the perimeters of Martha's Vineyard, which is an amazing feat. But to you, what is the most interesting or exciting component of JawsFest coming up? I know it's going to be tough for you, but you're the woman who's behind who's created it.
Yeah, there have been a lot of moving pieces, and the fans are probably crazy with me because we were going to announce the public schedule last weekend. And then we had two major changes in our VIP schedules. One, Rodney King, who was from Australia, is coming with Brent Mills. We just got the call that he's going to be here. He was involved in the live shark footage. He's got stitches like this. He's been sampled by a great white and is a huge conservationist. So we've added him, which has changed some of the schedules. We actually added another great white session, and I needed to talk to some of the shark people that are coming. And then Robert Shaw's sister, Joanna, has just confirmed. Which is really amazing, yeah. And so we've been playing with that. So I think there's two components that are really fascinating to me. One is the family stories. It's never been done. We've never been able to sit, we have all three, we have the Benchley family, the Shaw family, and the Scheider family coming. They're going to talk about what it's like to be, families of these great people who were involved in the movie, what it was like to grow up with this, how this has changed their lives, over the last 37 years. Brenda Seymour Scheider and I talk a lot about Roy, and she said, he made a lot of movies.
He did.
And isn't it ironic that, his life comes down to one line in a movie, which is, we're going to need a bigger boat. And she said it's just amazing to her, when they did his memorial, his whole roster of works was just tremendous. And the same thing with Robert Shaw. With Peter, Jaws was really his great work, but with both of those actors particularly, they have amazing rosters of work. Yet, for our fans, it's Quint, and it's Sheriff Brody. That's just who they are. So there's the family stories that I think is really fascinating, and the shark conservation component, which originally was going to be maybe a 3-hour session on Friday morning with Wendy Benchley and some of our conservationists and Greg Scommel, and is now turned into a 3-day event within event in Oak Bluffs. We are thrilled that Edgartown National Bank just confirmed with us this week the old Oyster Bar, which has been sort of a lemons to lemonade kind of scenario for us, is going to be the home base for Sharks Arts and Conservation. Wow. We have all those windows to work with all summer.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be making that into a wonderfully appealing shark education place. We can put some poetry up there. We can change those windows all summer long. And I think it'll be great for Oak Bluffs because that building will not be just sitting all summer. And
like
it's, of course, stellar for us.
Living museum.
Right. Well,
of sorts.
It's as close as you get as a billboard on the Vineyard to
me.
me. All those beautiful windows, yeah. We're going to be doing some. We're really pleased. I think it's for us. It's definitely a win, and we hope it's a win-win for Oak Bluffs and for the Edgartown National Bank. Also, we're hugely appreciative that that's worked out.
Now, Susan, you just used terminology that I'm sure many people in the audience are wondering about, or maybe they didn't pick up on it. But you said, sampled by a shark. Could you elaborate on that term, please?
Well, I'm learning.
Yes.
I'm learning. Yeah. I am not a conservationist, but I am thrilled to be learning this. The first one that really made me aware of this was Peter Benchley when he was here. And it took me 5 minutes with Peter to go, wow, this is something I should be more aware of. And so what we are doing as part of JawsFest is this is our summer for the sharks on Martha's Vineyard, and we have education and conservation initiatives underway now. We've already had shark savers out to the island. We've got free outdoor movies going on in Vineyard Haven in association with the Tisbury Business Association in July and June and July. And so people are really, really afraid of great white sharks. You watch Jaws and you think they're predators and they're gonna, you know, come off a dock and eat you, and that they're really looking for humans. But we're not their prey of choice. When we're in the ocean, we're not in their food chain at all. Their food chain consists of fish, and their favorite is seals. Nice, juicy, fat, tasty seals. Yep. And what will happen in most shark bite incidents, which are really quite low, particularly in America, you're much more likely, I hate to say it, you're much more likely to get killed riding your bicycle than you are to be killed being eaten by a shark. And I'm not saying don't bike, I like biking. But it's very rare that a shark will actually attack a human being. Most often, they see something in the water, they hear something in the water, they're attracted to that thing, they take a bite to see what it is. And most survivals of shark attacks are because they don't like us, so they spit us out. We have been sampled,
yes,
is the term that they're looking for. And the problem is shark teeth are pretty sharp and they have oodles of them. So when they take a sample, it can do very, very significant damage, like take off an arm or...
Yeah, my friend from Martha's Vineyard, Adam Geiger, who does a lot of documentaries for National Geographic, did a great Shark Eden film for National Geographic. But I learned from Adam that when the shark sinks their teeth into us, like within a microsecond, because of the way their system is set up, they, in that so-called sampling, the term that you use, Susan, within a microsecond, they can tell the fat content of us, and that we're not something that's palatable to them. We're not food.
No, we're not food.
We're kind of bony, kind of muscly type. We really don't offer them that much nourishment, as a matter of fact.
No, we don't.
So
the only problem is we're weak swimmers compared to a seal. So if you put a human in a wetsuit, and we swim, we look like, you know, an injured seal or a really poor swimming seal, and so we look like easy prey. We're not very tasty prey, but we're easy. That's our problem. But we're in their environment.
Yes, we are.
We're in there, and
we're
in their
intruding
space.
into their. That's right.
And and you know, swimming in wetsuits with bunches of seals probably isn't super smart. But there are many marine biologists and conservationists that will be at JawsFest that regularly swim with sharks. They swim with great whites out of cages, which is fascinating to me.
Have you ever tried it?
No.
Will you?
You know, I never say never. You know, Peter and Wendy Benchley, Wendy talks about the first time she went down with great whites. My life changes all the time. I don't know.
What does she say, in her experience?
It was terrifying and it was fascinating. She and Peter have pictures of the two of them in a cage on their 40th wedding anniversary, surrounded by great whites.
My God.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
But, you know, we go out and we go on safaris and we see, you know, we're fascinated by wild animals. We're terrified and fascinated by wild animals. And I think it's that connection with or respect for their power that is fascinating to us. You know, whether it's whales, which are so much huger than us, or great white sharks, which are amazingly powerful creatures, or orcas, you know, which are as vicious as great whites any day, but because they've become Shamu instead of Bruce and Jaws, we personified them differently culturally. So that's some really interesting stuff to look at.
One of your components is sharks, arts, and conservation.
Yep.
What is that, Susan?
A crazy way of blending some things that we think makes a lot of sense. Okay. We're celebrating the power and the beauty of the shark. People are really comfortable with whales being powerful and beautiful. People are a lot less comfortable with sharks being powerful and beautiful because we're afraid they're going to eat us. But most sharks don't. Many sharks are baleen feeders, you know, so they don't even have big teeth like this. There's many, many species of sharks, and sharks are one of the oldest creatures in the oceans. So we want to educate and teach about sharks. We found this really fascinating correlation in our fan population where many of our Jaws fans are artists. And they have crafted these amazing pieces of artwork, from photography to shark sculpture, do you mind if we want to show this one?
Yeah, let's put Jaws on here, the figure that Susan has had fabricated for this event.
Well, sort of.
Sort of.
This piece is a great example of this. Can I borrow him for a second without messing us up? So this is a work from Paul McPhee, who is a local artist.
Great artist.
A wonderful artist, and Paul's a great example of this.
Yes,
and Paul has some wonderful pieces that he's doing in collaboration with JawsFest.
Nice.
And Paul actually had these done without JawsFest being done. Paul just created this resin shark for fun, because this is part of what these artists do. And you'll be able to buy these in the Jaws store without the donation slot in them as a wall mounting. And Paul's created and selling these. And I was talking with Carrie Filer, who's Matt Taylor's wife. Matt did the Jaws book, and they're working with us on the event. And I said, oh, I'd love to do something that's a donation receptacle where people can donate money for shark conservation. We can have these around the island. And she said, oh, Paul has those.
Perfect.
I said, you're kidding me. Yeah. She said, no, he has a 15-inch diameter shark head. He's already made it.
Excellent.
I said, oh, we want those. So this is our first production donation receptacle going to get its base this week, thanks to John Thayer and his team helping with that. And Paul's been working on these for us. And you'll be able to put money in these and they'll go to conservation. But we have artists like Paul involved. We have Bill Weiger, who's doing these wonderful, very beautiful sculptures that'll be available online. He has full-size shark forms with the whole internal biology exposed, amazing things. He's doing these wonderful bas-relief sculptures that we'll be selling in our store. We have custom artwork. So this whole sharks, arts, and conservation is this tie together of sort of what we've seen in how the fans love the sharks, and we need the sharks. And so we came up with Sharks, Arts, and Conservation, and Featherstone's going to be helping us with this. And it's going to be this great exhibit where you can come in, see art, see science tools that are used to be out tagging and measuring sharks. Greg Skolmel's bringing us in some wonderful stuff. Look at some shark poetry that's being done in collaboration with the MV Poetry Society, which you're helping with us, to look at some of the different artist things that are going on. We've got kids art coming in, just tons of stuff. And it's going to be this great, really fun exhibit where you can celebrate the power and the beauty of the shark.
There's so much going on with JawsFest. I could see many publications, many spin-offs of docu-style films being done on JawsFest. It really has become part of the culture of Martha's Vineyard. Yeah. You know, and who would have known? Was it 1969 when they did the film?
74.
74?
74 they filmed, 75 released.
Okay. And who would have thought that Spielberg's first film would have changed the culture of Martha's Vineyard and the culture of the world relative to our consciousness towards sharks, for good and bad. But I think mostly what Jaws is doing, because not as a result of Jaws, but because of the evolution of humankind and their taste and desire for shark fin soup, and see that as, for many reasons, the shark fins are being utilized. But we're decimating over 100 million sharks, pelagic sharks, which are ocean-going sharks, each year. And that's not a result of Jaws.
No, that's not.
But here is a great vehicle to do education,
Right.
to stem that slaughter.
Right.
And it's a mindless slaughter.
It's frightening.
Of the world sharks, which are so vital to the ecosystems of the world. So for that, I think you picking up on that conservation theme, working with the Benchleys, working with Discovery Channel, you're providing a great service, and you're getting, can you talk about the international exposure you're getting now?
Sure. And we're hugely appreciative of everyone who's helping us in this effort, and it's really a large group. We've mentioned a lot of them, and yeah, I'm thrilled to be able to do it again. It feels like it's a little bit of a give back to Peter and what he's done for the island, and it's also really, really important for our oceans and for our ocean ecology here. I lost it. What was that question again?
You're rolling
my
here.
My brain dropped it for a second.
Yes.
So we're really very excited about that. We also think that it's great for the island to understand that conservation can bring tourism as well. Oh, international. That was the question.
Yeah, you had a crew from France here.
Yeah,
recently.
on Monday,
on
Tuesday.
Get you back on track.
Thank you. That was what I needed. Prod me back along the way. On Tuesday this week, we had TF1, which is TF1 in France, which is the largest broadcast channel, doing a report on the world's most famous oceans, beaches, and Jaws is one of those. So they're coming here. They're going to Malibu to do Baywatch. They're going to Tahiti for the movie Beaches, and they were here filming all day. All over the island, doing some really great stuff, and the press is really significant already, and we anticipate it will continue to be. I spoke with Joe Alves yesterday, and he was on the phone all morning. He said, I had Australia and New Zealand and France and stuff going on in Japan, and part of this is tied to the international re-release of Jaws. But the movie's fascinating. Number 2 horror movie of all time, next to Psycho.
Oh,
right?
Had no idea.
Right, exactly. The first movie to ever break $100 million in sales. And really the term blockbuster was coined around the movie Jaws. It was first-time lines wrapped all the way around the block.
So that's where that came from.
That's where that, yeah. So
they coined a word.
They coined a word.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah. So really, it was the first movie that ever broke through in that way. And a lot of it was, I think, partly because the mechanical shark was so problematic. You got this great suspense, and it was truly challenging for everyone who was involved, but really exciting.
Well, yes, the mechanical shark. I was in Jaws: The Revenge. And they had that mechanical shark, and it was an embarrassment. Yeah. But see, what Spielberg did, he left a lot to our imagination. And he showed footage of a lot of living sharks, underwater footage. So that, to me, grounded us and enthralled us with the power and the agility of the real shark. Right. And maybe it was a blessing that Bruce didn't function that well. But with the great scene where he's climbing up on the back of the ship Orca with singing. Now that I thought was awesome.
It's an awesome scene.
It was an awesome scene. Now talk a little bit.
You want a funny tidbit about that scene?
Absolutely.
An inside tidbit. Yeah. So if you watch the movie, in there you'll see that there's pieces of Quint gut hanging in between his teeth in the scene, and they'd shot that scene, and Joe Alves didn't think it looked realistic enough. And Joe was the one who really helped bring the movie here, and so as he was looking at that, so they ended up fishing for squid. And Joe told me this story last time during JawsFest. So the morning of that shooting, the second when they reshot that scene, he was out sewing squid, which he caught off a chappie. In between the teeth, right? So it's local squid. It's not Quint gut. And I love that story. It makes it a little less scary for me when I watch it. I'm like, oh, that's just squid. It's calamari. I like that. Squid. But that's the kind of stuff that was going on in those days. There was no digital editing.
Correct.
It was all it was all mechanical, and I think that's part of the fascination of it too. The editing was amazing. The work that went into the movie was really fascinating. You do it differently now.
Yeah, Spielberg was very creative.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the editing was very creative.
Verna Fields won the Oscar for that, for
Yeah.
best editing in the movie. Yeah. Yeah, I think she was very creative in editing.
And well, she deserved it. It was well done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really, really well.
Also, Susan, we have the Living Jaws sessions.
Yeah.
And they're going to be at the Whaling Church.
They are.
Is that correct?
They are.
What is the Living Jaws session?
So these are where fans get to have a more intimate look with our VIPs. And we have one that's going to be outdoor at Owen Park because we think it's going to be a little larger. The Old Whaling Church capacity is 500. So on Thursday night at Owen Park, we're going to have Jeffrey Kramer, Joe Alves, and Carl Gottlieb doing the making of Jaws, which will be super fun. And that's our opening night kickoff Living Jaws session. And then the rest of the sessions are on Friday and Saturday at the Old Whaling Church. And we've got everything from family stories, you know, where we're going to talk about what it was like. And the Living Jaws sessions are not heavily scripted, so a little bit like this, where we have some questions and some guidelines to keep the conversations moving, but we don't want these to be scripted presentations with PowerPoints and slides. This is an opportunity for us to say, what was it like? And to have the panelists sit down and interact with each other and share old stories and bring back memories and tell these off the cuff in front of the fans and the audience. And we think that just makes them really personal. So you're like sitting in the living room with Joanna Shaw, and Greg Scommel and Rodney King, who was involved in that live shark footage. And so we're really excited about that. And we've got 7, possibly 8 sessions that we're just finalizing right now.
Universal Studios, how are they plugging into JawsFest?
They've been really great and very supportive. They are on board as a sponsor as well. They are also working very heavily on publicity with us. Universal last time ended up with both Good Morning America and the Today Show here. They like to bring one big morning show to us. So we're fine with that. We'd be very excited about that. It's really exciting for the island. They're also bringing us some great publicity opportunities. And when we do the outdoor screening on Saturday night, we will be showing the new Blu-ray. So that's really great too before it's released.
And
it's not the first showing, but it will be the new version.
How cool! Now you'll be setting up the huge screen where?
We have 2 big screens going to Ocean Park on Saturday night. Last time we did the outdoor screening, we did it at Owen Park, and we thought we'd have 500 to maybe 700 people there. We don't know. We think there were 2,000 to 3,000. So we needed a bigger park. And so we're very grateful of the Oak Bluffs Park Department and the town of Oak Bluffs, and again, so many people that have been so supportive and helpful. And we've got 2 big screens coming to the park. Event bracelet holders will have forward seating, and then further back, it's a public park. It's open to the public, so it'll be like a drive-in. So you know, the best seats are going to be for the bracelet holders, but we could have anywhere from 2,000 or 3,000 to. It's a 7-acre park.
So people can actually see the movie for free?
The further back you get, you may not be able to hear it as well.
Or you use binoculars.
But yeah. We have 2 32-foot screens coming in. So depending on where in the park you are, the best viewing areas will be for bracelet holders, and then the rest of it's open to the public. Come on down and participate. And we got Discovery Channel's bringing in shark fin hats. So we'll also be, all the bracelet holders will be getting those, and if we've got extras, that'll be as well. And
shark fin hats? What do they look like?
I have not seen one yet, but I believe they're a little bit like the Vineyard Vines whale hats, the big foam hats. We have 10,000 of those coming in for the event.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
God. Discovery's really plugging in a big way.
It's their 25th anniversary for Shark Week, and we're very excited to have them working with us, and really excited for Shark Week. There's some programming that ties very closely to Jaws that we can't talk about that's going to be releasing at Shark Week. It's going to be an amazing Shark Week this year. So, yeah, exactly. We're thrilled to have them too.
Of course, we're going to be doing a lot of things here at MVTV, so stay tuned for that. So we can go live here at MVTV, which I've done many times. Maybe have you come in here with guests, so we can have a lot of fun with the various scenarios as they evolve and unfold.
And MVTV is going to be filming the whole event too.
Yes.
I'm taping that whole event for us. So
excellent.
That'll be great. We're really pleased.
And of course, we cannot have an event that's credible and legitimate without merchandising. So Susan has brought in some amazing pieces of clothing, and I'm going to have her model some of these for us. And this one here is lifeguard for Amity, and these will be available during JawsFest. So hold that up against your, there you go.
There we
Look
go.
At that. There you go.
We've actually got apparel starting in the stores
yes.
in the next few weeks. We're these are our production samples. We'll be taking these out to the stores to get the orders. And we've got the Boneyard, Emanemsha Blues, Todd Rebello's stores in Oak Bluffs that will be offering these. So you'll be able to get this merchandise before the event, during the event, and maybe a little after the event. So we're really excited about that. That's the Amity Guard one, which again, since you shouldn't need, well, lifeguards are good.
Absolutely.
Lifeguards are very important.
Amity had lifeguards.
Amity does need guards.
They were cowards, however.
Well, we're not expecting shark attacks.
You know, they just kept blowing the whistle. Get out of the water.
That's right.
You know,
in and out, in and out. The kids were too cold to move during the movie.
Is that right? You know, Bill and Rose Steinman were in one of those beach scenes where they come running out of the water. I remember seeing that. Quite a few local people were extras in that film.
Tina Miller just did the interview with with Matt from France yesterday, or Monday, Tuesday, whatever this week is. I'm a little lost in it. Then it was great. It was really great. And she was one of them.
John Alley, I remember him walking around with the fishing pole down by the docks to get on board.
Right.
And then we have, if Susan survives this event, she will proudly be wearing this T-shirt, which is pretty awesome.
I do think this is my favorite.
Yes.
This is the I Survived JawsFest Amity shirt. So I'm trying. We'll survive. We're having a lot of fun this time. We've got a really great team, and you know, I'm sure it's not a big enough team. Oh, we're looking for volunteers. Put that call out. Anyone who wants to volunteer, you get general access bracelets, you get T-shirts.
Really?
So and we have lots of opportunities in Oak Bluffs and Edgartown. We've got some paid positions, and we've got volunteers. So just go up to jawstribute.com and contact us, because we're going to need some help.
That'll be a fun event to be a volunteer at, because it's an historic event, and you'll have that bracelet, and forever you'll be able to say, hey, I worked on that JawsFest back in 2012. So, and you'll have, you know, some paraphernalia to prove that.
And meet the VIPs and meet the conservationists, and really a lot of stuff.
And we cannot have apparel without the central character to the film. And Susan will model Bruce.
Right. And this is great. This is not quite my size, but I love this one.
Yes.
And in case people don't understand Bruce, Bruce is the nickname for the shark in the movie. And that was Steven Spielberg's attorney's name.
Oh.
So that's where that comes from.
So is that why they call lawyers sharks?
Yeah.
Is that where that came from?
We really felt, and
is
being
that the
formerly
etymology?
married,
Is that
being
the
formerly
etymology?
married to an attorney.
Yeah. Is that the etymology?
Yes.
No way.
Yes.
I didn't know.
Isn't that awesome? I don't know which came first.
Right.
But yeah. And ironically, we don't have an attorney as a sponsor yet.
Yes.
And I said, oh,
wonder why.
I don't know. We should.
Because attorneys take such a big bite out of you.
Right.
You know.
Or you hope the
now,
opposition.
I'm being facetious, because I have many friends who are lawyers. I don't want to get in trouble with my fan base of lawyers.
All right, I'm reaching for the hat too.
You reach for the hat. So here's another rendition.
Right, and this one you can get as a combo, which is nice, the hat and shirt combo. This is the simple, basic, official JawsFest shirt that will be coming out, which is kind of a dress for me in this size.
Yes,
but,
that would be like a nightgown for you.
Right, a beach cover-up.
Yes, beach cover-up.
Which is great. My daughter, this is my daughter's favorite size to wear for shirts, the XXLs. She's 8.
Oh, cool.
I know, it's very funny.
And I like the outline of Martha's Vineyard there.
Yeah.
Well done. Now, who designs these?
This is the same graphic that we did for the 05 event. We just updated and added the tribute. And this is my agency, Mindshare Media. We do the design and graphics for this. We did the graphics graphics for the last event too. So that was nice. So
What is it?
Mind Share Media.
Mind Share Media.
Some days I think it's mindless media.
Mindless. Well, my God.
We have to laugh at ourselves,
Yeah,
don't we?
you do. And then we have, of course, we have the hat. Got a little bit of paraphernalia on it from the floor, but
Right.
the JawsFest, the tribute, the hat. Now, Susan was saying not everyone has a cranium that can accommodate and look good with a hat. And she was explaining to me before we went on air that she has a round head, so therefore she does not look good in hats.
Not baseball caps.
Oh,
No,
baseball
you're
cap.
evil. No, not baseball caps. I can wear big floppy brim hats. Those are great.
Yeah, I qualify
but
that.
not baseball hats.
Baseball hats.
Cap is not my
baseball
best
caps,
look.
you cannot put on a round
And I shall decline
hat.
that.
Why?
All right. He's good. He's persuasive. It's true. Bad.
No, it
The
isn't.
hat's good.
You look good.
I look like a
It
baseball.
fits your face. No, that's a good look.
We're going to
Susan.
start a fashion show for William now.
Here, let me. Now,
I bet it's much better here.
I don't know. I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
Does that look good? Yeah, JawsFest.
Yeah, I like it. I
Thank
like
you.
it.
Yeah, I wear a lot of hats because I'm fair-skinned like you.
Right.
And my dermatologist there told me that I really have to be careful. So as fair-skinned people, we'll have all this JawsFest paraphernalia to wear, the white T-shirts, et cetera, so that we protect ourselves from the sun. But the graphics, I must say, it's well thought out from soup to nuts, Susan. And of course, one of the highlights of JawsFest is going to be the announcement of the first Martha's Vineyard Poet Laureate in our island's history. And Susan welcomed the Martha's Vineyard Poetry Society, of which I'm the founder, to come on board. But I like what also she suggested, that the very first poem by the Martha's Vineyard Poet Laureate that will be announced that night, that big night there in the park. But what your suggestion, please share it with the audience.
Well, what we thought would be really great for the opening of the tribute, which is the big night on Saturday night on the park, is to take this, it's going to be a big crazy crowd, we know it.
Yes.
And to kind of bring them down with some flute played by you, and then the poet laureate to read a shark conservation poem, and sort of start our tribute with something poetic. It feels very Vineyard to us. And then we'll go into, the movie and some of the pre-clips that we've got for that. But we just think it's a great way to get people to think while we've got them there, to connect with them emotionally, creatively, and to have them celebrate the power and the beauty of the shark through poetry. And we're thrilled. We're really excited about it.
Now, where will central headquarters going? That'll be at the Oyster Bar in OB?
The main campus is the Dr. Daniel Fisher House and the Old Whaling Church.
Oh, really?
That's our main campus, and that's where our Behind the Screams exhibit will be, and our Jaws store will be,
Why Edgartown?
and our Living Jaws sessions.
Why Edgartown?
Those venues fit the original plan, and originally that was our main campus.
And a lot of the film was shot there.
Yes, exactly, exactly. And then our Shark in the Park now is at the Edgartown School. We have, did I tell you, we have a 33-foot high blow-up shark slide?
No.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
A slide for kids?
A slide for kids. Looks like a shark.
You have a lot of kids things going on.
Yeah, it's a family event.
You talk about what's going on with kids.
Totally a family event. Particularly on Thursday, we have a trivia hunt. We go around the island, answer questions, find lookalikes and people doing reenactments around the island. We've got some amazing fans doing great stuff. They're submitting YouTube videos and clips to us now, and we're making some choices, and we've got a few of those already on board, and some we're still choosing from. We've got the kids' art submissions, so kids can submit art. We're not doing a contest for kids' art. I can't judge it. It's all fabulous.
Yeah.
But we'll have kids' art displayed at Sharks Arts and Conservation. We've got that whole big space to to fill up, so we can do all sorts of things from hanging to the ceilings to around the walls. It's going to be wonderful. We're doing a teen poetry contest with you for kids. And then the outdoor screenings are good for kids, of course, depends on how small they are, but you know, usually
what screenings are
those outdoor screenings of the movie, and then we've got the 2 outdoor screenings. We're still working on film choices of those. We're doing those with the Film Society. Richard Paradise is going to do those with us in June and July, and everything's again up on the website, which is JawsTribute.com.
Would be nice if we could get Adam Geiger's Shark.
Yeah, I know. We're working on that
still
with you.
Working on it. Yeah,
so that'd be a stellar one to see. And then we're also thinking, you know, Blue Water, White Death might be great. And
what's that about?
Same thing, shark conservation and education. And then
what was the title?
Blue Water, White Death.
Blue Water, White Death.
Yeah, it's not confirmed yet, but we're looking at that one.
All right.
And then Brent Mills, who's done quite a bit of work for National Geographic, also has some great pieces that he just got to us. So there's going to be some really great fun stuff going on, and book signings and author signings and meet and greets, and Shark in the Park on Thursday is really a great family event. We've got shark kites, the shark slide, we're bringing in, and that's Cape Cod Inflatables that's bringing in the big shark for us.
Which park?
It's called Cape Cod Inflatables.
Which park are you going to hold it in?
Edgartown School.
Okay.
And we're doing that with the Boys and Girls Club. So lots of collaboration.
My God, you've got
well, and as I say, there's lots of organizations that we're working with. You know, we're thrilled that we're working with the nonprofits on the island. Our sponsors have been wonderful. We've got 40 plus local businesses and off-island businesses that are working with us, and people like you. And it's without a doubt a collaborative effort. So and people are interested in getting involved. Please let us know. We're entering crunch time, so the more the merrier.
Tickets for this event.
Yeah.
I assume Mindshare Media and Tickets MV is
Tickets
handling
MV
that.
or JawsTribute.com.
And those are all your brainchilds.
Yeah, it all fits together.
You created all of these entities.
Yeah. Girls got to keep busy on the island.
Are you serious? How long have you been on Martha's Vineyard?
15 years.
And what brought you here in the beginning?
Wash ashore, accidental transplant. Bought a summer house and never left.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Got married here, I assume?
Got married here, had my daughter, got divorced here, still here.
Still here?
Love it.
It's
good. It's a great place.
It is.
It's a great place.
It truly, truly, truly is. Yeah. And could you put that hat on again?
No.
All right, I'll take a bite out of your arm, right?
Yeah. Well, what's really funny is this Bruce has a slot in his mouth, so you can put the money in.
Right.
And then what you can do when he doesn't have his back on, we've had a couple of these around the house, and you can put your hand in him, and he makes a really great puppet.
Oh,
I got him.
Go ahead, you got it?
You can do this with him.
Oh, yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Hey, Susan, it's another side of you. Yeah.
So we have been having an awful lot of fun with these. An awful lot of fun with these. He's not super fragile, medium fragile. He's going to be out in the stores, so.
Yeah, let's do a close-up of that here. Bring it in there nice and close. This is really well done.
Paul McPhee?
Paul McPhee, and if you remember back in 2005 with the others, JawsFest, on the evening that we showed the film, Jaws in Oak Bluffs, Paul McPhee was there with all of his beautiful art, shark art, on T-shirts and original art, signed, etc. Very, very impressive artist.
And we'll have that in the Jaws store as well as Bill Weiger. Oh, and if we have a couple of minutes, the Behind the Screams exhibit we didn't really talk about. That's the Daniel Fisher House.
Okay.
So last time we had what we fondly called Bruce on the Loose, which was the big shark that's now in Sharky's in Edgartown. And that's an exact replica of, to scale, of production Bruce. There was right Bruce, left Bruce, and sled Bruce. And that's a full-scale production of sled Bruce, which is all three-dimensional.
Where is that?
That's at Sharky's in Edgartown now. It's actually been gifted to the Martha's Vineyard Museum, but until they get relocated, he comes through the wall in Sharky's in Edgartown, and that's our Bruce from the last event. And the gentleman who produced that for us is named Greg Nicotero, and he has done some amazing specialist effects stuff. He currently produces The Walking Dead in LA. And he another one of these, like, what do people do for fun? What do Jaws fans do for fun? He is crafting a full-sized, life-like, you've never seen, replica of Quint, Brody, and Hooper on the bow of the Orca, which we will have on display at Behind the Screams. Which is unbelievable. He's been sending us pictures of, you know, Hooper's head and a variety of things. C.B. Stark's redoing the rings that are on Chrissy's hands.
That scene in the movie of his head in the water with the eye.
Yeah, he's redone that. These guys just...
That was very shocking.
They've recrafted these things and redone them using new technology that can get unbelievably exact replications. And so it's sort of like a wax museum, but the resins they use is much more skin-like. So it's really going to be amazing. So you can come up and, you know, stand with these guys.
I see.
Take pictures with them.
Even the hair on the arm is there.
Yeah, yeah.
It looks like they've kind of put wax inside of a living person. I'm sorry, let it go.
Make sure it doesn't get on
but we're giving you the Orca. All right, here's the Orca, and
right. And these were from the 05 event we did. These are Andy Caulfield's images that we displayed at that point in time. And this is just a great picture of the Orca when she was being built here. So, you know, and Lynn and Susan Murphy were extremely involved in creating, crafting, and building the Orcas. And Susan Murphy is going to be cutting up pieces of the Orca 2, which was in the harbor in Menemsha for a long time and has been pulled out because fans were getting in there. And she's making these beautiful collectible pieces that we'll have in the store, authenticated, you know, pieces of the Orca 2, which are great. So it just never ends.
You referred to the store a couple of times now.
Yeah.
Where is the store?
The Jaws store is in the Daniel Fisher House. You do not need a bracelet and you do not need admission to come into the store.
Okay. Is the Martha's Vineyard Museum participating at all?
Yeah, the Martha's Vineyard Museum is helping us with our exhibit and curating of the Behind the Screams exhibit, as they did for the last event. Again, very thankful to them.
And we have the lighthouses.
Yeah.
Because the East Chop Light and the Eggertown Light, and I'm not sure about the Gay Head.
Yes, it's shown.
It's shown.
It's shown.
They're all in various scenes in the Jaws film.
Right, right.
And those lighthouses are very, very important to the Martha's Vineyard Museum. They're the showpieces, and it extends the reach of the museum to the town of Oak Bluffs and to the town of Aquinnah. And I always thought it'd be so cool to have Bruce in one of the lighthouses, you know.
Yeah,
so, but,
that'd be great.
And then you brought in another photo here, Susan. And is that Craig Kingsbury? No, it kind of looks like
Spielberg.
Craig. It's Gilbert? Okay.
That's Spielberg.
Okay.
Here.
Where's Spielberg?
Here.
Yeah, but I'm talking about this character.
Okay, out come the glasses.
All right, this character over here.
I don't know.
Okay, but Spielberg.
I know people who would
Spielberg
know.
is
This
here.
Spielberg at 27 years old.
Okay.
And then we get some of, like, Joe Alves and some of the others can go through and say, oh, that was it, that was me. So, but I love that, you know, this is Menemsha Harbor, and I was in Menemsha 2 nights ago.
Right.
It looks, the trees are taller, but it looks almost exactly the same, which is so great. Oh, that's great. I didn't realize that. That's Quint's shack.
Oh, yeah.
In the back here, which of course isn't there anymore. Yeah. So it looks a little different. Did you know that was designed after the old Sculpin gallery?
Ah, perfect.
Yeah, tidbits. I learn something new every day.
Yes.
Every day. So
are you going to produce a book about this?
I think the event is good.
You think the event is enough?
Matt's done an amazing book.
Yes, he did. Yeah.
And we'll be always looking for interesting opportunities to create events and unique things. I think JawsFest, this may be our last one. I'm in the never say never mode, but you know, a lot of the cast and crew really is getting elderly. So there aren't that many of them left,
you said,
sadly.
7 since the last JawsFest have gone.
Exactly, and we invited Lorraine Gary and Sid Sheinberg, but Sid really doesn't travel anymore. And, you know, so we see this.
Is Sid still involved with Universal?
He's retired. He's in his mid-80s.
And they've been married a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, and would have been great to have her. Oh, it would have been amazing.
Yeah, and how is she doing, Lorraine Gary? She's the central figure, the woman.
Brody's wife.
Yes, she's so.
Ellen Brody.
Yes, Ellen Brody. She does a great job acting. Yeah. She did a great job in Jaws: The Revenge too.
Right.
So neither of those is going to be here.
No, sadly. Yeah.
But you're right, they're getting older,
right,
leaving us. And this truly is a tribute in many levels. The art of the film, the history here on the island of Martha's Vineyard, the participants, the island people involved.
Shark conservation.
This is truly a tribute on many levels that you're putting together here, Susan.
Thank you. That's our goal. That's our goal. And we would like to just reach out to people. If you see the sharks out in the stores, which you will start to see, we're going to have somewhere between 30 and 100 of these coming out over the summer. Please contribute. Every little bit helps. All money's coming into these sharks goes directly to shark conservation.
Very good.
And you'll be able to text to donate as well.
Excellent.
That information will be on the sharks bases as well as on our site. And part of our goal is to raise some awareness and also to be able to give some big checks at the end of the summer out to some of these conservation organizations. So every little bit will help.
Yeah, and not only protecting and conserving our oceans and the shark species. There are many species on Earth that are right now that are very stressed, and the sharks are one of them, but they're so vital to the health of the ecosystem that supports us. So in the final analysis, what you are investing in when you donate to the Jaws conservation effort here for sharks, you're basically investing in the future of humankind and the longevity of our civilization and our species. Anything else you'd like to share with us, Susan?
I think I've got it all. There's tons of information up on the website. If I've missed anyone or anything, my apologies. Many thanks to everyone who's helping us. The website is JawsTribute.com, and you can get everything up there, and I will have the schedule up very, very soon. We're just finalizing those last Living Jaws sessions.
JawsTribute.com. So apropos, yes.
August 9th through 12th. Or maybe the dates are good.
August 9th through 12th. So, wow, this island is going to be transformed over those, that's the 9th, 10th, 11th, 4 days?
Yeah, 4 days, Thursday through Sunday.
You have a lot going on in 4 days.
Yeah. But you can get to it all.
Yeah.
Last time, the only complaint we heard from the fans was there was so much going on, you couldn't make the entire schedule. This time, if you want to do everything, you can, because we've made a couple things that don't overlap. So Behind the Screams opens on Thursday, but closes on Saturday. Sharks Arts and Conservations opens on Friday and closes on Sunday. So you can actually do it all.
So you have overlaps. Yeah. Very well thought out.
Yeah, we learned a little bit.
JawsFest 2005, I remember you couldn't see everything.
You couldn't actually do the whole schedule.
You couldn't. Well done.
But this time you can.
Well done, Susan.
I gotta try. We're trying.
Genius, I must say.
7 years to think about it.
I want to thank Susan Sigel Goldsmith for joining us here on the William Waterway interview, and I look forward to JawsFest, and I hope to see you there. And thank you, Susan.
And best luck to the Poet Laureate in the consideration. So we're very excited to share in that announcement. Thank you for having us.
You bet.
Pleasure.
Until again, we'll see you at JawsFest. This is William Waterway.